Okay, I'm admitting Mr. Heidt now. He should be here in just a second.
I don't know either. That's it. Gets me up and down.
Hey, he's here.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Heidt. My name is Andrew Morgan. I am the chair of the 7th Judicial Nominating Commission, and this is our afternoon session. And I would like you to start by introducing yourself to the commission. We do have some new members who this may be your first opportunity to interview with them, and then follow up by telling us why you would like to be a county court judge.
Absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, before telling you a little bit about myself, and as stated, I'm Wesley Heidt. I wanted to basically thank all of you. I meant what I said in my application. I believe that serving on the bench is one of the highest callings for an attorney, and for the process to work, we need good judges. For us to have good judges, we need people like you who care and put the time in. So thank you. When you look at the application, and those that have been through this before, the application is longer. And I think when you look at that longer application, you see an attempt to get every bit of information you can about that applicant. Sometimes this word is almost used as a negative, but you're looking for my paper trail. What experience do I bring? What do I bring to the process? And I like to think I bring a lot of experience. I'm an AV rated board certified attorney. I have been for over 20 years. I've practiced at every level of court in the state and federal system, be it state trial court, state appellate court, Florida Supreme Court, which I've had the opportunity to argue numerous times, the federal trial court, where I've conducted several bench hearings, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, where I've argued several times, and then substantive pleadings in the U.S. Supreme Court. So, I bring that legal experience, but obviously a judge is not a litigator. A judge is a person who runs that docket. And what in that paper trail, what in that application shows that I have the ability to do that. I run one of the biggest legal offices in Volusia County. When we are fully staffed, we're sitting at about 20 attorneys and about 10 support staff, bringing us to about 30 people total. It's an excellent group that I'm proud to be in charge of. I've done that for over 10 years. And during that process, we've transitioned from, paper filing to electronic filing. It seems that each and every system is different, from initially the DCA, EDCA, to the portal, to the federal systems, which are all three different. But leading the office through that, now switching over our internal system, every aspect of HR, coming from either hiring someone, going through the evaluations, helping mentor and supervise people. I bring that administrative experience to the process, most recently taking the office through the international pandemic of COVID, with going from those 30 people to myself and 2 staff on site. And the reason why we're on site would be probably about 20% of our caseload is pro se. A decent percentage of our caseload is filing federal habeases, which if any of you are in the criminal system, it's sort of like a post-conviction motion on steroids. But in the federal system, the federal courts require us to forward a massive amount of paperwork back to the pro se litigant, who's generally in prison, and to do that and scan it and provide it. I know a couple months ago, we mailed one that I think was 54 pounds. So for staff to do that, we have to have people on site to process that kind of bulk of mail. But, an attorney, an administrator, and then an active leader in the community. I serve on the Medical Examiners Commission. nominated by the Attorney General and selected by the Governor. We oversee the administration of the medical examiner statewide, one of only 9 commissioners. I've previously served as Volusia Bar President, previously served as leadership roles in my church. Currently am president of Southeast Volusia Youth Sports. So there I coach baseball and involved in collection of money and involvement in the community. When you look, very proud of the fact that the last few years we've been able to give out thousands of dollars in scholarships to some of the people that have come through the program to move forward into college. But, I taught for over 20 years at Daytona State College, teaching legal courses there and serve as chair of their paralegal studies committee, which is involved with maintaining accreditation. So with that combination of legal experience, administrative experience, and leadership in the community, I would obviously be honored to be nominated for Volusia County Judge nominee.
Thank you. Mr. Heidt, I have a question. You have a tremendous appellate experience. Thousands was your response, and that might be tens of thousands. But what you have zeros on is there aren't a lot of appeals in county court, but there's definitely a lot of trials. And so how would you adapt to going from kind of a true appellate specialist to being somebody who's conducting jury trials and teaching young prosecutors and young public defenders how that process works? How would you adapt to that?
Yeah, absolutely. What we see on appeal, of course, are trials. So I've, reviewed hundreds and hundreds and thousands of trials, and I'm fully aware of the best way for which those trials to be conducted. I've been in the trial courtroom. We had about 10 years of forfeiture experience, but as far as conducting it, as stated earlier, the judge is really not a litigator. There are some great litigators who don't necessarily transition well to the bench. There's ones that do. But as an appellate attorney, the oversight of an entire office, the oversight of looking through these cases, the oversight of knowing what is and is not reversible error, and the process of running that courtroom is, I think, translates well. When you look at the people with attorney general experience that have come primarily from our office that have gone over to the trial docket, be it at the county level or at the circuit level, I think all have done hit the ground running and done a really, really great job over there. So I would bring that somewhere experience.
Another question for you. In some ways, it could be said that you're overqualified for the job. And, a lot of times, if people, if they're overqualified for something, tend to either get bored or not feel challenged. How would you respond to the fact that maybe you're a better circuit court judge than a county court judge? And to dovetail, do you plan on applying for the circuit spot that is open that we will be conducting interviews for on the 30th? Because the governor's office has indicated to me that it would be appropriate for somebody to be on both lists. Two-part question. So initially, anybody that knows me knows that I'm a people person. Mentoring in the office, teaching at Daytona State, coaching. County court is the people's court. And I've always thought that my skills would be a great matchup for what's on. You can't hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I thought they were indicating they could not, but I'm.
You're back, Mr. Heidt. We lost you for a second. You said okay. It's the people's court.
Absolutely. I love people. I love the law, and so to have an experienced attorney serve on the county bench is not a bad thing. They obviously get complicated issues, but my strength is with people. I'm an experienced lawyer, but I also run an office full of lawyers and staff. I I've coached baseball up into the high school level of quality, but I'm still down right now coaching 8, 9, 10-year-olds. I've taught at, community college, Daytona State students, and absolutely enjoy that. So to have an experienced person who can efficiently run a courtroom is, not a bad thing. And in so county court, I've thought about this before, but I've had a friend who prosecuted felonies, and they're, anything that happens at the felony level is obviously serious, but sometimes as far as the complication of the law, when you look at a murder is a battery with a dead body. When you look at the complication of what you're looking at with the DUI and source code and the Fifth and Fourth Amendment aspects that recently came out of county court a couple of years ago, that issue was argued up in the U.S. Supreme Court. And, there's a complicated issue that to have an experienced attorney who can, make sure that those issues are properly resolved is a good thing. And, will I apply? It's currently I'm, hoping to be nominated for Volusia County judge, hope to convince the governor that I'm the best choice and then serve on the Volusia County bench. My previous attempts have almost always been at the county court level. And I believe that's the best match for my skills.
Do any members have any questions?
Would you consider putting in for the fixed ECA?
Have I thought about it? Yes. Am I currently planning on it? No. Even with the Attorney General's office, and I've made this point to people who know me, I love what I do here. The Attorney General's office has given me unbelievable opportunities. And, when you look at the courts that I've appeared in and some of the issues that I've had the pleasure to argue, it's an amazing experience. But I am a people person. And I think that one of the things that has sort of kept me in my wheelhouse is going out into the community and being involved at Daytona State teaching and being involved with the kids at church or the kids out at baseball. And the 5th District is a completely different creature. And, it would have an interest, or there was a challenge there that I would find interesting. But again, I love the opportunity to participate in people's court and bring my skills there.
Mr. Heidt, you have been before this commission. We have certified your name to the governor previously, and you have not been selected. Is there something that you have learned in that prior experience that you think can get you across the finish line this time?
Absolutely. It's a 2-part process, and admittedly, the committee has been kind and has sent my name up a few times previously. Each time I put forth the effort, each time I reached out into the community, each time I was actually humbled by the people I met and the support I got. But I would not be before you if not each time governor had not chosen someone else. So I've reached out to those people who've been successful. I continue to reach out to those people. Each and every time I believe I've learned through the process. Even now, it's the idea of planting seeds and being hopeful of the fact of another opportunity. But it is a completely different fight. Committee always has a tough choice before it and sends up typically 6 names that are all qualified people. And each time the governor has, made a tough choice and made a good choice, and people that are friends of mine now. And again, people that I've reached out to learn how to complete the process. And if given the opportunity, if there would be no failure on my part as far as the hard work I'll put in to complete the process.
I have a question, Mr. Heidt. As you know, I was a general magistrate for a while. And when I first served in that position, I was surprised at how much courage it took to sit in judgment of my fellow human being every day. So is there anything about your current position that requires you to make courageous decisions, even decisions that end up being unpopular?
Absolutely. I'm involved with case assignment. I'm involved if a case goes from the 5th District Court of Appeal up to the Supreme Court. And I always, try to put the effort into matching the cases with the proper skill set and making sure that the case is handled to the best that we can handle it as an office. We had a victim's advocate in our office, and just as far as not thinking of us simply as an appellate office that's attached, but twice she asked me to go over and speak to a group in Orlando, and every person in this support group was victims of homicides. So you're looking at children and grown children and parents and various family members, all of whom have lost a loved one through the system. But to sit in a support group and talk for a couple of hours about cases with which you don't necessarily know all the facts, but them trying to understand why is the case taking so long on direct appeal, why is the case taking so long on the post-conviction, and explaining the system to them in a way that, given the fact that the victim's advocate asked me back a second time, in a way that was beneficial to them, but, interacting. We make tough decisions at the Attorney General's office, and what cases to appeal and what cases are best left not to be challenged. So, and dealing with HR personnel and dealing with some of the things that are just naturally part of running a large office. So I do it daily, and I think that would prepare me to hit the ground running in the court.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Does anyone else have any other questions? Mr. Heidt, the procedure will be after we deliberate, a member of the commission will call you. I anticipate that should be around the 6 o'clock hour, but it could be earlier, it could be later. Are you going to be available by cell phone ending in 41?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Thank you for your time this afternoon.
Yes, sir. As stated, thank you all for your time, guys. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.